Gary's short-term memory is affected quite severely at the moment. So if I ask him to do something, if he doesn't do it sort of right there immediately, then he hasn't got the ability to hold that task in his mind to do at a later date and so on. So it actually means that I have to check up sometimes and make sure that, if I've asked sort of him to do something, that he actually has sort of followed through and done that task and so on.
In this dementia, everyone's different. They're not, the same thing doesn't go on with each couple, each person.
We rely very heavily on a diary. We use the calendar. If I need to go out to do something, I usually leave Gary with a bit of a list of jobs to do to keep him occupied and busy, because just the ability to think of a task to do, or I need to find that item from the shed or whatever, that sort of capacity is gone now. So to prompt Gary with lists and things has become sort of an important way of life.
Routine is very important. I think having good systems and good support, and really working to a time frame, so that Dad isn't put out in any way, and so he can maintain his day-to-day living, to have some socialisation, and he attends daycare, and that's very important, that he is out in the community, and he's not staying home and isolated.
Where Gary used to pick up the phone and contact his friends and all that sort of stuff, he needs prompting to do that, to keep contact up with people. So it's just a matter of saying, oh, you haven't spoken to Dave for a little while, how about you go and give him a ring, and those sorts of things.
I know a couple of friends of ours, they just sort of gave up and didn't associate or anything, gave bowls away. I was determined I wasn't going to give the bowls away, and people say, oh, you can't bowl anymore. I said, no, as long as he can bowl and he's walking, we'll be bowling. And even this year they said, will you still bowl this year? I said, yes, as long as I can. And he's still bowling very well.
This illness has changed our lives in terms of being able to earn and work and all those sorts of things. But we're also balancing that with just trying to live our lives. And you're a really active person, so you want to get out there and you want to have some fun and do it. Yes, things like
going overseas.
Yes.
Doing things that you always wanted to do, sort of.
Playing golf.
Yeah, trying to play golf.
We like our activities, even if we can't half see. We've got our eyes done. Yeah, didn't you notice?
A dementia diagnosis, it's a frightening thing, it's a scary thing, and your mind can take you to the sadness and all that sort of stuff quite easily, but it's at the expense of living in the here and the now. So I think that's probably the most important way to try to move through this, is to not forget that today's a beautiful day. What can we do that is fun and exciting, and to create memories together and all those sorts of things.
Whilst the diagnosis of dementia is a serious diagnosis that can't be taken lightly, it doesn't mean that life ends. It may be that life is different after that diagnosis is made, and there will be new challenges that come as the dementia progresses. But no, we should still make sure that the person with dementia and their family are living as full a life as they possibly can. It certainly helps, for instance, if they tell their friends the diagnosis, but that doesn't mean that they should sever all their links or their community supports. In fact, we know that the more socially engaged and active a person is, the slower the progression of the dementia. Unfortunately, Alzheimer's disease and the other dementias tend to be conditions that are not widely spoken about, and they're quite feared, in fact. It's not that dissimilar to the story about cancer 40 or 50 years ago. People didn't talk to their friends about the fact that they had cancer. There wasn't a lot of coverage of cancer in the press, and doctors didn't want to talk to their patients about the cancer that they'd diagnosed. It was very much stigmatised, it was very much in the closet. But now people are quite comfortable to talk about their breast cancer or their prostate cancer. It's demystified, it's no longer stigmatised. I think we need to make the same progress with other chronic conditions. Incontinence, we need to do the same also with dementia. Dementia is an increasingly common problem. It's going to affect over 1 million Australians by about 2050, and we need to be able to freely talk about it so people can express their concerns, their anxieties, but also so that it's no longer a hush-hush condition which seems far worse simply because people aren't talking about it.